Namaste and good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hope you are well and everything is fine, Sheetalji. Okay, we would like to start with the session now, and before we start, we'll be chanting one mantra and then we will chant Om one time. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much, and we will start with the session now. On the last week, we have studied about or ended with the respiratory system and its process completely. Today we will figure it out with the new system, but before we figure it out with the new system, we would like to see some effective yoga techniques with related to the respiratory system. So in relation with the respiratory system, that is the organs or the group of organs of the respiratory system, we would like to see some yoga techniques like what asanas and what pranayamas would be really helpful in related with the respiratory system. Alongside, we would also see about the kriyas, that is cleansing technique. Now, speaking about it, so effective yoga for health or yoga technique, I will write. For respiratory. We have already studied the effective yoga techniques, that is some of the kriyas, asanas, even some basic pranayamas for the digestive system here. She would like to see now about respiratory. So always remember, as a practice of yoga here we'll not talk about any therapy or anything, but as a yoga practitioner from the start or at the beginning of the day, if we will practice yoga, what kind of yoga we should practice or what we should begin with? Can we know, or may I know it please from Sheetalji? Like what should we practice early morning as soon as we wake up after
Like,
getting ready?
like chanting Om and doing some like Alom Vilom and Pranayam types of some pranayam, and then asanas.
See, okay, I will tell. It's a good thing. Huh? Yes, Sheetalji?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, but sometimes the sound is breaking. Am I audible?
Yeah, but sometimes it's breaking. Some words are missing.
Okay, let me know, please. At the moment, am I audible, right?
Yes, yes.
Because there is a problem from the Zoom since Saturday, maybe.
Yeah.
With the error. So please let me know in between if it breaks.
Sure.
And so as a yoga practitioner, early morning, as soon as you wake up, as you have said, to chant a mantra or to chant Om or to chant Shanti or any kind of mantra, it's perfect. But as a yoga practitioner, that means a yoga practitioner is lot of things. So we have certain asanas, certain pranayama, certain meditation, and certain cleansing techniques that we should follow. Okay, so we have these certain asanas, pranayamas, meditation, and cleansing techniques. I hope my sound is not breaking, right? Okay. We have a new student. Let me just say hello or namaste, Magda.
Hello.
Namaste. We have one more new student, iPhone. Let him connect. I would like to say namaste, iPhone. I don't know your name and hello on the screen. Okay. So let me know if my sound is breaking. Sometimes people will let me know. And the first thing here, as soon as we wake up, we need to follow up with the kriyas, that is cleansing techniques. Yes, good morning, iPhone. So we need to follow the kriyas, that is cleansing technique is the first thing. Pranayama is not the first thing that a yoga practitioner should do in his or her life at all. So the first thing is cleansing technique. So there are certain 6 cleansing techniques that we say Shatakriyas in yoga and Panchakarmas in Ayurveda. So here in Shatakriyas in the Hatha Yoga, the traditional yoga, at least we should follow, if I will talk about the respiratory system, at least Jalneti, at least Jalneti. So Jalneti, with the help of the neti pot, with the warm saline water here, we put the salt in the half liter of water and we enter the water from the, pour the water from the one nostril and bring it out from the other nostril. So this is the first technique that we should to apply if we want to keep our respiratory system healthy and if we want to get our immunity completely stronger. So first thing is to clean our energy channels, that is to clean our sun side and to clean our moon side. Sun side means our right nostril, that is Pingala Nadi, and the moon side means our left nostril, that is Ida Nadi. So this Ida and Pingala, when the sun and the moon are being clean or the blockages from these nostrils are being removed out completely, then it would help to release or raise the level of consciousness, that is Kundalini, throughout our body from the base of the spine till the top of the crown, activating our all the chakras. Okay. Now, this Jalneti is very, very helpful not only to remove the nasal blockages, but also to get rid of all the mucus and everything in our face. So about the facial muscles as well, it does clean. So it is not only helpful for the nasal cleansing. Do we know, Magda, about the Jalneti technique?
I don't.
Okay, give me a second. I have here. So see, like this, we have a neti pot. We pour water in this neti pot and warm water that is up to our body temperature. Here we put a salt as well in this water, or just a teaspoon of salt, and we enter the water from one nostril and the water comes out from the other nostril. So that is what the technique of cleansing the nostril or the nasal passages with the help of the neti pot. After the Jalaneti technique, so after the kriyas, at least in the respiratory system, this Jalneti technique or Sutra Neti with the help of the thread, we need to dry these nostrils. So dry these nostrils with the help of Kapalbhati Pranayama. Always remember, dry the nostrils with the help of the Kapalbhati Pranayama. Kapalbhati Pranayama, I hope you have studied, or I will tell you that we need to breathe in And we need to only exhale, but passive inhale. So from our abdomen, this is Kapalbhati. It is much different than Bhastrika. So I am not inhaling here, like not doing like this. So Kapalbhati is to remove the water droplets after applying this Jagannathi to dry this nostril. Then you can rest in the child pose for a certain amount of time. After resting in the child pose, you again start doing Kapalbhati. And then after this cleansing technique, you need to practice. Always remember this sequence as a yoga practitioner, asana, not pranayama. So we have cleansing technique, then we have asana practice, then we will have pranayama practice, and then we will have meditation technique. This sequence, it depends upon the different styles of yoga nowadays. Some teacher training courses, I am not speaking about the Himalayan Yoga Association or Himalayan Yoga School, what we are been teaching. But like in some yoga teacher training schools, there are many. In the courses, they say or put the pranayama before the asana, but that is just to adjust the course module. So some people do put the pranayama practice before the asana practice morning, but it is not the right. It is just for the course, but after the course, it is upon us for our self practice how we should practice yoga for our life, for our health. So this is not according to me as well. According to Sage Patanjali, what has been told in the 8th limb, that is only I am representing here in front of you. Namaste Pia, good morning. We have one more new student. So according to Sage Patanjali, according to the limbs I will be talking here, speaking about the facts. We have the Kriyas, the cleansing technique first, where we follow yamas and yamas as well. After that, we have the third limb, asana practice. Do we know we have the third limb, or have you studied about the 8th limb? Okay, so you will learn that in your philosophy class from your philosophy teacher. So simultaneously, we go with the asana practice, then we have pranayama practice, then we have meditation arranged in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra perfectly by the Sage Patanjali. Here, about the asana practice, give me a second. Can you see this marker? Or is it too fade? So, about the asana techniques in the respiratory system, the most helpful asanas I will be writing down. The most helpful cleansing technique was Jalaniti. Now, helpful asanas like Veerbhadrasana. What are the Veerbhadrasana series? In the Veerbhadrasana series, we do have like warrior posture. So, warrior 1, warrior 2, and these are the some basic postures we should do. Warrior 1 and 2, which will help allow our lungs to expand. So according to the respiratory system, speaking about our lungs, inside that alveoli with the branches of our trachea and the windpipe, to allow it to expand and to help carry the oxygen more inside our lungs, it is very essential to practice the warrior 1 and warrior 2 postures. So then we will write some of the postures, then I will demonstrate you these postures right behind over here, standing behind the camera, and I will demonstrate you as well. Okay. So first we will see some of the postures which needs to be done in a right technique. If the technique is not correct, then it is not at all helpful, even if we will practice yoga for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. If the technique is not correct. Technique means what? we should know when we should breathe in while going into the certain poses and when we should breathe out while performing that pose. If our breathing is not correct and if we are still doing the proper pose, headstand, handstand, lots of great yoga practitioners doing lots of great postures, but if their breathing is not correct, they would end up with the psychological problems or the emotional health problems as well, internal problems more. Now, apart from the warrior posture, so whatever the chest opening exercise are being present, so the modified fish pose we can say here, I will write, there is also modified Matsyasana or the modified fish posture. We also have the Supta Baddha Konasana. Supta Baddha Konasana, that means our supine butterfly posture. So in the butterfly pose, we can, reclining butterfly pose, we can say. Also, Ustrasana is one of the great posture. That is the camel pose. Also, Shishu Asana. Shishu Asana is one of the great posture. That is our puppy pose. These postures, even if I am writing it now, I will be demonstrating. So please note it down. The pose is first Veerbhadrasana, warrior 1 and 2. Have you written down these things? Because you cannot see the whiteboard down. I will erase this and again I will write it up. Can I erase this above section? Okay. So writing at the bottom, the Shishu Asana, the puppy pose. We write again here. Then after we would also practice the Bhujangasana variation 1. So Bhujangasana 1 is basic and can be done by the all yoga practitioners. So here I will be writing only those yoga poses which can be done with all the ages. So which can be done by all the people. Bhujangasana variation 1 that I will show you. The Cobra Pose variation 1. We could also practice the up dog for the chest opening here for the lungs, which is very helpful. Upward facing dog, actually we say. Can you really see my marker here? Upward facing dog. In Sanskrit we say Urdhva Mukh Svanasana. Then we have downward facing dog. This posture we say Adho Mukh Svanasana. So these are some of the postures as well, which will help to open up our chest and fill the chest with ample of oxygen if we will practice this regularly, which a person could not even suffer or can reduce the disease asthma as well, like for the asthma patient as well. These kinds of exercises or yoga practice. Even if you will notice me, I am pronouncing the word asana. I am pronouncing this asana word as an asan. So this is what we pronounce in Sanskrit. Even if we are writing this word in English as like Bhujangasana or Shishu Asana or Adho Shvanasana. So Shvanasana, like A is always silent in the Sanskrit at the end. Just to let you know some of the basics. Maybe Sheetal, you know, she's from India, so for Magda. So we have this proper pronunciation. This is what the traditional words which we should always pronounce. The rest are all the English pronunciation which we find in our traditional text. The basic things, one day the tradition will be lost and the future generation will not know how to maintain that tradition. Nowadays only we can see the lots of tradition is already lost. Lots of new styles of yoga, people doing yoga with the goat, with the dog, with the cat. It is not actually thing what was been taught traditionally, but lifestyle changes according to generation wise. If you written down some of the postures, you tell me one by one postures. I will be standing right behind the camera and will be demonstrating you that poses. Okay. So let me just. Okay. Can you see me first? Tell me.
Yes. Yes.
Oh. So what was the first posture which we have seen? Virabhadrasana variation 1. So starting with the Virabhadrasana variation 1, I will just demonstrate you like this in the side way. Here, if we take our leg back in the Virabhadrasana, Warrior 1, we need to keep our chest up always. Our hips are the most important part in our body than our back and spine and the chest. So first important is to keep this hip pelvic square in front. If we stand in Virabhadrasana, we just make the pelvic face in diagonal direction. So first allow your pelvic to face in front. Then with the next inhale, you can bend your leg 90 degrees. Doesn't matter your foot is on the toe or not, your hips are square and you raise your arms up. So this is what Virabhadrasana 1, that is Warrior 1. The time you release the posture is what you need to exhale. So when you inhale, you go down, and as you exhale, you come back and release this posture. Clear with the variation 1 of the Virabhadrasana?
Yes.
The next is what? Virabhadrasana 2, the Warrior 2. For the Warrior 2 as well, from the Warrior 1, you can do this in Vinyasa as well. We just shift the foot behind into 90 degree outside, like we do in the triangle pose. Similarly, but this time our pelvic is not in front. Our hips are not facing in front. This time our pelvic hips are facing at the side. Hips are square first. Then after that, back and spine straight. We need to bend this leg as we inhale, bringing the arms at the side. So this is what our arm should be in one line. Our head should be towards the leg which is bent. So this knee should be in 90 degree completely. Our chest is always open. This is what the important technique. Here, have you got this? What is?
Sir, over here, our front leg is bended in 90 degree, but our thigh, if it is not parallel to the ground, it's okay, right?
Oh, we can keep it parallel to the ground. This is just because of the track point and the warm up is less for me now. So you can keep it 90 degrees much better.
Okay. So we have to keep it 90 degrees.
Yeah, 90 much better.
Okay, fine. But
Yeah.
initially, if it is not possible, we can go slowly.
Yep, we can go slowly. It is not possible only if we do not do any warm up. Like today, you cannot see me doing any warm up, just demonstrating the asana. If we do all the warm up of the joints, will be possible easily. So 10 minutes warm up always before the practice. Then what is the next?
Modify fish pose.
Modified fish pose, the Matsyasana. So here we have the certain types of Matsyasana here. Can you see the mat?
No.
No.
Can you see this? Bolster?
Yes.
When you lift it,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, let me check what you can see. Okay.
Yes.
So, like we do the fish pose basically when we place the top of the head on the ground. But in the respiratory system, to open this lung, even to we can modify this fish pose, like if for those people who cannot bend their neck or who have the problem with the cervical of the neck or with the cervix, or some people have spondylitis. For the people, this modified fish poses, I do recommend for the respiratory system to open up the lungs. So keeping this bolster right behind our back, we could just, or modified Shavasana, we can just say. So while practicing Shavasana or the fish pose here, we can just lie down, keeping the bolster in between at the center of the back and opening up our chest here. We could also take our head back in the modified fish pose. So write down modified fish pose over there, / modified Shavasana. Shavasana is more helpful with the bolster to open up our chest to breathe and to carry the oxygen in our lungs.
Sir, we can keep the coaster horizontally instead of vertically.
Horizontal bolster will affect your back or lower back. So like you will create a space in between the lower back. For example, if I will demonstrate you like this, it is just helpful, but not for much time. Like after couple of minutes, like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, if you will practice, it will hurt your lower back, but you can practice it less than 5 minutes. Some people do place the block as well. So people do place the block as well only for the chest opening and breathe with the abdominal or from the chest as well, very slowly, the deep breathing by keeping the block under the center of our back, like this.
Sir, how much is the maximum ideal time to do this?
Minimum 30 seconds or minimum 1 minute. You need to hold this posture with natural breathing. So minimum 30 seconds.
Maximum?
Maximum depends upon our own capacity. If you can hold it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, some postures, people can hold 13 minutes. So some postures even I can hold 8 minutes, 9 minutes, some 13 minutes. So it depends upon our own capacity. But minimum 30 seconds will help us breathe naturally, or with the natural breathing, we'll only get benefits. If we will release the posture, then less benefits. And the postures we need to do with the breath, with the technique. Not like, for example, if we are doing vinyasa flow, what happens, a lot of people doing in the vinyasa, they forget how to breathe in between. The teacher knows. When the teacher is guiding or the teacher is teaching, the teacher knows the breath. But the students are just moving from one flow to other flow, from the other to the third flow. So if the person is not practicing with the breath, I don't even know how the people can do that online. if the teacher is not in front. But we need to follow the proper breathing technique and go with the flow and very slow to get more benefit. Write down the most important thing on your paper or the notebook. The more slow we practice, the more benefits we will get internally and externally in related with all the organs and all the systems. This is not any statement given in any notebook or any traditional tantric text of yoga. This is a statement given by just me. The more slow we practice, the more benefits we will get upon all the organs. This is just as per the experience I am saying. Then, what are the next poses? Yes?
Supta Konasana.
Supta Konasana is, yeah, it's the same technique. So, same, just people do the butterfly pose like this, Baddha Konasana. And in this butterfly pose, they lie down. So, Supta means they just lie down. This is a yin yoga posture. So if you do the yin yoga pose, people do this pose, also open the hips. So they work on the two organs at the same time. So one is the pelvic joint, the hip joint, and one is on the chest, on the heart chakra. So people do this Supta Baddha Konasana. Rest it here for the couple of minutes, like minimum 3 to 4 minutes in yin yoga. Okay.
So can we do these poses before sleeping in the night?
Before sleeping you can do these poses, but after the meal, after 2 hours, at least after 2-3 hours. This yin yoga you can do, yeah. This posture you can do.
And without warm up, right? Like directly before sleeping on the bed.
Oh, yes. Yin yoga posture is you can practice without warm up. So this posture only. I will not speak about all the postures like warrior 1 and warrior 2, not that one.
Yeah,
so this,
only this.
yeah.
Supta Baddha Konasana
yes.
and modified fish pose.
Yes. Modified shavasana you can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the next one?
Yes.
Ustrasama.
Huh?
Ustrasama.
The camel pose is, yeah. So the camel pose is also very effective. Please don't practice this before sleeping. And this camel pose, if you have blocks, you can do it with the blocks. If you do not have blocks, no need. Here, the pelvic in the camel pose should be in one neutral position, taking slight distance in between our knees. We need to grab our waist. We inhale and lean back. Open up the chest. Then we come back and exhale. The first variation. The second variation, we can grab our heels as well. So we inhale, lean back. Try to grab the heels. Hold it here, keep your eyes closed and breathe normally. Again, I release as I need to speak. So always remember in this camel posture, like if you will remember, I told you we can also breathe with the mouth. So to keep open your mouth slightly if you want in the camel pose. So when we tilt our head up, we need to keep our mouth slightly open as well if we want. If we don't want, breathe with the nostrils. But this posture, you can also breathe with the mouth to allow the air pass through our windpipe more. Okay.
Sir, in Ustrasana, when we take our hands back and hold our heels, at that time, hip should come forward.
Hip Hip should not go backward or not come forward as well. Actually, this is the posture I am showing you for the lungs, for the chest opening. So here, my hip, if I will move like this behind, this is not the Ustrasana because the pelvic is moved behind. So it will be in the neutral position over here, and this will be your camel pose.
His hip joint is above your knee.
The joint is above your knee. So the hip joint is above your knee, which makes the 90-degree angle. That's it.
Okay.
So it should be not in front as well, not at the back as well, just in one line. As a chest opener exercise, I have been showing here for the respiratory system. Then what is the next?
Shishu Asana.
The puppy yoga pose. Actually, the Shishu Asana you can also practice after the camel pose. So that is the counter pose. Like this when you open up your chest. Can you see the chest which is open or which is stretched in between? So this is what the posture, the Shishu Asana posture. Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
Then what is the next?
Bhujangasana. Cobra.
So Cobra variation 1 I have written. So in the variation 1, I will show the simple Cobra where you need to raise your torso up when you inhale on your forearm. Here in your forearm, the angle is 90 degree. In your upper arm and lower arm, this angle in between the forearms is 90 degree. Cleared?
Yes.
This is your variation 1 Cobra pose I am showing. There are many variations as well. So this is more effective in the respiratory organ system. What is the next? Up dog. You already know what is the up dog. This is not like Cobra, but just to open up the chest, look up. The pelvic is above the mat. If you will see, my thighs are lifted above the mat. Can you see it?
Yes.
Then what is the next one?
Down dog.
You know already what is the down dog posture. So here, just a less warm up, but this is your down dog posture. In between at the center of the chest, you need to work here on the center of your chest. You may use blocks if in the morning your body is stiff with the less warm up and you cannot place your heels, you can use the blocks here on under your palms. But holding it for minimum 30 seconds, you can practice this.
Sir, in downward facing dog,
Yes.
is it must that our heels should touch the ground so that we can take the blocks under our hands?
It is not must, I am saying. We can, but in the downward facing dog, we need to make sure our back, our head is little bit down, our chest is much deeper in downward facing dog. Chest moves towards the floor much deep, and our head is literally going in towards the floor. And if we cannot keep our heels on the mat, that is because our hamstrings are not stretched. In the morning, our body is stiff, but in the evening, if we practice with the warm-up, our body is not that stiff like in the morning. So try to bend your knees in the downward facing dog if you cannot place your heels on the mat. So you can even bend your knees, but keep your back straight. Okay. Now I can see the time is almost up on my clock. Anyway,
Sir, one question.
give me 1 second. Let me open my front camera. Can you see my front camera? Yep.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
One question.
You can ask me now.
Yeah. For all these asanas, like for digestive system and respiratory system, which you have taught since 2 days, all these asanas can be practiced by a smaller child, like from 3 years old, slowly.
Yes. All the asanas can be practiced, which I have taught over here. The basic asanas, which can be practiced by all the people.
Okay.
Yes. I have not chosen any advanced portion.
Okay.
Yes. Slowly with the technique.
Yeah.
The children are more flexible. It is easy for them to practice as well.
Yes.
Just they will not hold it because they have less patience about the children.
So
So
can
they
we
will be not.
motivate them to hold? Like it's
We can
good if they hold.
If they hold, it is good. Thank you so much, Pia. It is good if they hold, but we need to take a child according to their
Yes,
mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, their mindset is different. Like this. Can we end now this session? Is or more questions you have, people? Okay, so we will end up with one Om. Just keep your back and spine straight, eyes closed, and chant Om 1 time. Take a long breath in, inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much, Priya, Shikaji, Magda, and the rest of the people as well. Hari Om. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.